What's going on, everyone? So, not that long ago, Matthew Lillard was at a convention and talked about having blood on his hands. That Stu may or may not have blood on his hands, is as he put it. Now, many people would interpret that as like, hey, he's back, it's confirmation, there you go. A lot of the Stu stands, right, believe that he's going to be in this film, want him to be in this film, right? I'm somebody that I'd prefer it not be. I have said that I think if it is going to happen, it will happen this film. But it's one of those things, I'll believe it when I see it. However, we do know Matthew Lillard is in this film. We do know that Stu is in this film in some capacity. There's been a lot of different rumors, a lot of different possibilities that have been kind of thrown out there. Again, everything's a rumor until it's actually true. But I want to talk about an idea that kind of got put in to the back end of a video where I talked about Matthew Lillard and what he said at the convention. Go check out that video after this video if you want more details. But towards the back end of the video is just kind of this thought that popped in my head about like, hey, what if it's, we get to see the first kill from Matthew Lillard. And then like after I made the video, kind of thought about it, did the playback and stuff like that as I'm editing and stuff. I was like, you know what? That could be a really good idea if done properly. Now, obviously, there's the potential of Stu returning. There's also potential that he doesn't return. How are they going to use him? Is it AI? Is it just flashback sequences? Is it a combination? Right? I mean, it technically all could be true. Right? We could get something where you get an AI version of Stu, and we think, oh, Stu's not alive, and then get a couple flashback sequences of Stu, and then ultimately Stu does return, and it's like, oh, he is back, right? Like, and all three kind of dominoes fall into place. But regardless, if they were to have a flashback sequence, right? Now, if he returns, let me preference this first. If he returns, they probably have a flashback sequence to kind of piece together certain things, right? But there's also the potential of like a flashback to the beginning, right? Because it seems like this is going to tie in somehow, some way, right? Whether it's the Ghostface cult or, however they decide to approach it. But I do think it would be cool with kind of a Stu Macher of, was the Woodsboro killings their first kill, right? Now, I know Moraine and stuff like that, but like, did they build up before that? Did they build up a little after that? Right? Like, I would love if we got a flashback of Stu doing his first kill. I'd love if we got something where Stu actually, was able to kind of turn the clock back, maybe use some de-aging, whatever, and give us a scene where Stu kind of takes that first life and you see the switch flip for him or whatever, and how he kind of went down that path, right? And that could be your way to have blood on your hands. How did he take it? How did he respond? Right? Did he take somebody out and he just got this like rush? He's like, yeah, like this is what I wanted. Did he have some remorse? Right? Was he kind of like, dude, I don't think I can do this. Like, all I do is see that guy's head or that guy's face in my head or whatever. Like, is it something where he starts having this like meltdown and has, this guilt and remorse and just like, maybe I should turn myself in or whatever, but he doesn't want to disappoint Billy, right? Like, I've always said I would love to get a prequel, right? I'd love to get a prequel series of like Billy and Stu and have them like killing people leading up to the Woodsboro kills. And, you see the Marine death and all that stuff, right? That'd be awesome. Like, that'd be something that would be, I think, very interesting. I think that's something that I think you could have a lot of fun with. Right? But you could also do it in a flashback or several flashbacks. And that could be something that could be a cool way to kind of like have Stu have blood on his hands, right? So like, how does Stu get blood on his hands? Oh, he killed people in the past, right? Because, I mean, you could argue that they were clumsy, lackadaisical, right? Like, they had some moments, right, where you're just like, all right, like these aren't pros for sure, right? They're high school kids. They had their good moments and their bad moments. But they also were pretty like efficient, right? They had a pretty they were running through people pretty effectively. And so you got to imagine that there would be some level of buildup, right? Okay, you take out Moraine, and then you just jumped right into the Woodsboro killings, right? You didn't like, and Billy was the one that, wore the jacket and all that stuff to frame Cotton, right? And Roman was involved in all that stuff. Like, how much was Stu really involved in that, right? Like, so there's a lot that you can kind of dive into and explore in that sense. But so if the timeline is like, okay, Billy does what he does, right? But prior to that, get Stu as like the patsy, the fall guy, as Roman put it, right? And then, they take out Moraine, and then they have this plan of like, okay, we're going to take out Sydney and, do all these kills in Woodsboro and stuff. They just killed Moraine and just stopped there. And we're just like, all right, we're going to give it a year. And in 1 year, we're going to go back to killing again. Let me tell you, right? Or did they do some stuff? Did they handle some business in between? I think it makes some sense that they handled some business in between, right? Like, you're not going to go and just do something like that and then a year later jump into a bunch of murders. Like, you got to imagine that there's going to be a couple things, a little build up, little kind of like, maybe somebody got away, or, you killed a couple people and, you got roughed up yourself, or, almost got caught a couple times, and, maybe the adrenaline rush kind of built up, right? Like I said, I would love, I've always wanted a prequel. I've talked about that several times in the past. Kind of get a backstory, but I don't know if they'll ever give us that. So to me, the next best thing would be like, again, give us a flashback sequence with Stu, and Stu Macher's kind of, just having this little, this moment, right? Like where, maybe he kills somebody, he's got blood on his hands, he's looking at it, right? Maybe it's kind of like his demon type thing, like Sam was seeing like Billy and stuff. Maybe he just like is always seeing like red on his hands and stuff, and he had to overcome that. And once he overcame that, then he was able, like, there's a lot of paths that they could take with that. I think it'd be something that'd be cool. I think it'd be something that would be interesting. But, anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Best question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? I feel what your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle. Would you love to see something where you get a flashback and to Stu's first kill? Do you think, like that's silly, no point, just, have flashbacks, but have it be like dialogue oriented? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it either way. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.